check it out. Viewer discretion is advised because there are guns, violence, and blood. Very cool. I had it paused. I didn't realize. I was waiting.
덕분에 요즘 살맛이 난다니까.
이 땅을 구해주셔서 감사해요.
고생이 많으십니다.
Frame rate is choppy, but
토르센,
It's just-
환경에 따라 수도로 복귀하십시오.
it's not quite smooth, but it's looking...
방어구 링크 연결. 시리얼 넘버 확인.
That kind of verifies that it is in-engine. It looks like they do have Warframe suits. Dude, that dog on the right side looks exactly like one of the dog animals. Dude, that looks like a corpus, but a dog. If you know Warframe, then you know what this is. The Corpus are one of the factions in that game, and you can get pets in Warframe, but that looks like if the Corpus had a dog. That's crazy. Hey Ryan, well, I haven't started yet. I'm starting soon.
목적지 설정, 콘스탄티노플. 전송 준비가 완료되었습니다. 전송 중 신호 교란이 발생했습니다. 현재 위치. 신도 20.
Dude.
지하로 조정.
No way that was a loading screen. No way. Dude, my hair is... I should have brushed my hair before jumping on. Automatic marking of enemies, okay. Cool. Why is there a big, like, why has he got a hunchback? I'm not digging the hunchback thing. This is so cool, man. Looks decent. Or it looks really good, but kinda... It's got that weird engine vibe to it, where everything is just a bit too sharp, you know? You're being hilarious? Oh. This looks like a single player game. There's no way this is an MMO. Very Destiny with the little drone, you know, you had the little orb thing in Destiny. By the way, if this looks choppy, it's because it is choppy. Did that thing just sprint at him and suicide? Suicide bomb? Dude! This is sick. Well, what happened to the cape? Your cape disappears when you've been seen by enemies? A visual indicator of stealth? That's cool. I was just about to say the enemies don't look that bullet spongy, and then that happened. I am confused. If it's going to be considered an MMO, shouldn't the enemies have health bars? I'm glad they don't. But, and no worries, Roy, no worries. Hey, Biohazard, how's it going, man? Dude, they've got, like, decapitation in this? Oh my god. This is sick. The armor actually disappeared off the body. Okay. I've got a little mini rocket launcher. What? This is running like garbage, but it is very cool. Like, this is a 4K 30 frames per second video. I'm gonna put this to 1080 just to make sure it is actually as stuttery as it is. And it's not the video. No, no, no. It is stuttery. So this isn't even achieving 30 frames a second, which is, it's not really worrying because this is a development build like it says in the top right, but this is impressive.
비상통신장치 가동.
정보 접근 권한 회복. 현재 상황 코드 1. 올드원 통신에 대한 보안 위협 상황이 발생했습니다.
Look at that, man. It is Future Division meets Warframe / Destiny. I will say, them releasing this gameplay with the frame rate this bad does kind of come off as they need funding to keep this going, so they just have to release this whether or not they can get the frame rate steady. It tells me they need funding. Doesn't really matter though, because even as a concept, this is, if you release just this still, I'd go, whoa, this is really, really impressive. It chooses 30 FPS over literally anything else. I think they released it 30 because they couldn't get above it. I like it, Roy. Dude. If this is going to be massively multiplayer, you can play this with mates, that's so cool. That's Anthem. Dude, that's the move from Anthem. This is sick. Kind of looks a little bit like, what was that game that released last year? I think it was last year. Multiplayer, you could have like 3 or 4 different powers, like a pyro, earth, you could teleport. What was that game called? I had it. I got it. I played it. I didn't really enjoy it. I can't for the life of me remember what it was called, but this looks very similar. See, Roy, I used to think that too, like, I won't, if your game only runs at 30 frames per second, I don't want to play it, right? And then, way back when, I played the game Rise, Son of Rome, which is a 10 out of 10 game. And I played it at 30 frames per second. I loved every second of it. The gameplay was so basic. I didn't care. I loved it. And now I don't mind 30 frames per second games. I'll play Spider-Man on the PlayStation. I played Spider-Man PlayStation 4 Pro 30 frames per second, no problem. I loved it the entire time. I loved it. Oh my god, it just explodes. Come on. Oh, does it not explode? Dude, this is cool, man. Look at the little shield formation they've got. Look at the animation! Oh my god, this is really, I like this a lot. Oh my god, that's one of the best implementations of auto-aim I have ever seen. So it activates an ability for auto-aim, but it only auto-aims within the circle and stops locking on the second that detects an enemy's dead. Look at the animation when the gun, like the gun is moving around to aim at different enemies. That's so cool. Oh dude, I really do need to see that again. That looks so good. Seeing the gun just move 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. The little bip when they die as well, that's satisfying. This thing is running at 5 frames a second, and I'm still unbelievably impressed. Dude, I remember, Roy, I remember running like Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne, at 30 frames a second on my really old PC way back when. I didn't really... Ryan, it was Outriders. Thank you. That was the name of it. Dude, I played Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne at 30 frames a second. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. The vast majority of console people still think that 30 frames per second is acceptable. You know, many people won't agree with this, but 30 frames per second for gameplay, depending on the game, is okay. You get used to it. It's really difficult to explain that to someone that hasn't played anything at 30 frames per second recently, right? But when I first played Spider-Man on a PS4 Pro, I played it at 30 frames per second. I think it had a 60 frames per second mode, and I tried it, and the visual fidelity was so much lower that I couldn't stand it. So I went back to 30, and I actually really enjoyed my time with it. After the first little while, after the first like 10 minutes to half an hour, I didn't really notice it. Now I will say, when I would jump on PC to play something else just for a little break, it was very, very difficult to go back to 30 frames per second. Very, very difficult. However, I think it's definitely playable. I definitely do. I haven't heard of Arc Raiders, no.
적 전투 머신이 감지되었습니다. 모델명 M131 라바저.
Oh my god. This is sick. No way in a million years was that not pre-rendered. There's no way that your animation looks that good unless it's the exact same animation every single time. This looks so good. The way he like grabs onto the edge and swings to the side, I don't believe that this wasn't somehow pre-rendered. It looks too good. I'm just looking for like visual anomalies here, but it looks too good.
목표 지점을 확보했습니다.
Looks so good.
해킹 시퀀스 가동합니다. 암호화 연속
You
신호
remember
해독
playing a game
중입니다.
30 years ago at 30 frames a second as well?
원격 운용 폭탄 신호가 감지되었습니다.
Oh my god, it wasn't real, dude! This isn't gonna be an MMO, no way!
적 기체를 분석합니다. 잠금 해제 프로토콜 확인.
Why would you take it over after doing all that damage? Now it's half destroyed. I played games without counting the frames 30 years ago. Never started. The thumbnails genuinely look like a professional comic artist drew them. Thank you very much, Under. Hey, Under, how's it going, man? I had it, played it, didn't really enjoy it. I Outriders, I had it, I played it. I didn't really enjoy my time with it. I never finished it. I heard that Outriders was really good, but I just couldn't finish it. You know what it was with Outriders? It was that I didn't like any of the magic that you got. Nothing felt good to me. It all kind of looked a bit and worked a bit shit. That's kind of how it ran. This is very cinematic. This is very Outriders right now. Dude, it says actual gameplay footage. I don't believe you. This from here, I don't believe. It's too fluid. Like the frame rate seems to even changed as well. Even small things, like look at the way this car drives in and stops and then moves again. That's pre-done. Unless this is like a live cutscene somehow, this is not real. There's no way. I put my foot down. And my other one that I was already standing on. Both are down, there's no shot this is real.
접근 중인 전투 머신이 감지되었습니다.
Dude. This do be kinda sick though. Oh my god. You know what this reminds me of? Have you ever seen Japanese wrestling? Dude, it's amazing. I saw it, like, first time I saw it, I've not watched it in a little while. First time I saw it was like, oh my god, like 15 years ago. I was like laying on the floor. I like lying on the floor. I like sitting on the floor. I like the floor. Dude, there was like 2 years when I was younger, like back when I was a teenager. I refused a bed in my room. I said, I don't want a bed. I don't want a mattress. I sleep on the floor. Full stop. Yeah, I'll take a blanket. I don't want a blanket and a pillow. I don't want anything else. And tell you what, it was really comfy. I could go back to it right now. No problem. I love the floor. Anyway, where was I? I was laying on the floor watching Japanese wrestling. It was some of the most badass shit I have ever seen in my life. Dude, these two guys. There was one guy, I'll never forget his name. Jushin Thunder Liger. Oh my god, dude, what Jushin Thunder Liger. What a name. I can't remember who his versus. Wasn't as cool as Jushin Thunder Liger, but he was pretty cool. And they do this thing in Japanese wrestling, right? Where they'll both just stand there and they go, ah! And then hand like this and wham! As hard as you can over the chest. You hear it, you see the pink handprint on the chest, and they kind of go like, oh! And then they come back, wham! And just go back and forth and back and forth, and they'll get faster and faster and faster until one of them just goes, bam! Right to the face. Which is kind of like, you win, but also you don't win. You won the slap fight, I can't take it anymore. But also, wham! The disrespect. So good. That's what this scene reminds me of here. They're just standing there, just wailing on each other. Who's gonna fall apart first? Who's gonna live? Well, sick. Look at the birds. Look at the frame rate. What? This is the most exciting trailer for a game I have seen in years. Dude, I cannot wait to see this game. Project LLL. I'll be playing that when it releases.